it's Hannah and welcome to the Corner of Craft podcast. I hope that you are all well. I'm sorry that I missed out the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I had no finished objects, but you know what I do have now? A lot of finished objects. It's not even finished objects. I had no progress on any of my projects because I'd just not been in a knitting mood. I'd completely lost my knitting mojo, but it's back. It's back with a vengeance, and I have finished a lot of projects and have very little on the needles or on the hook at the moment, and it feels a little odd, but yeah. I am dressed in my sweater weather hoodie with my matching orange hair, which I desperately need to go to the hairdressers because my roots are down here. But then I don't think I've had it dyed in a year now, so that's not bad. I mean, the orange, but I mean bleach, and I need a lot cutting off. But anyway, hello, if you are new, my name is Hannah. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sticking around. This is a knitting and crochet podcast in which I chat about the projects I have finished, I am working on, and I would like to work on, as well as we talk about stash enhancements and stuff like that. So if you think that's something that you'd be interested in, please feel free to subscribe. It's a monthly podcast, but I also upload once a week as well. It's a lovely, fun time. That was very convincing, wasn't it? I'm coming at you today from actually quite a sunny Nottingham here in the UK. And today is Friday, the 23rd of September. And it actually is Friday when I'm recording this. And I'm going to Skipton to Yarndale later today. Is this very poor planning on my part? Yes, it is. But I had so much yarn to twist yesterday, I ran out of time to record because I was going to record yesterday and I just had no time. So I'm recording it today. And whether this goes up on Friday or it will go up on Monday, We'll find out, but yeah, today's Yarndale. So you'll see me wearing this in the beginning of next week's video as well, because I'm going to be doing a Yarndale vlog. Very exciting. Well, I hope I'll be able to do a Yarndale vlog anyway. If I don't post it, it's because it didn't happen, so let's not mention it. Since the last time we spoke, I've had a whole birthday. I'm now the ripe age of 22. No, 32. 22 just flowed off the tongue a bit too easily there. I'm 32 now. Very stressful. Stressful is getting older, malarkey, isn't it? But then I've had a freak out ever since I've turned 20. Every birthday since 20. Minor panic. Yeah. If you'd like to follow me on social media, that would be absolutely delightful. Links can all be found in the description box below, along with any other information that I think you might need. I'm not going to have time to type up podcast notes today. I'm very, very sorry, but I'll try and get them done and down there as quickly as possible. But I don't think I'm going to have time today because I'm literally just going to be running around like a headless chicken packing up the car before we drive to Skipton, which is only about 2 hours away. But Mary has gone to work this morning and I don't know what time he left because I was very asleep, and I woke up this morning. Miso woke me up at like 6, which is quite late for her, and it was so dark that I thought it was like 2, and so then I turned to see where Mario was and he wasn't there, and I was like, oh, that's a story that you don't necessarily need to know about. But yeah, if you would like to get your hands on a hoodie like this or any other fun t-shirt, please check out my merch shop. I designed this because it's sweater weather. It's a hoodie, it's got pockets and a hood. It's a pretty good sized hood as well. I have a giant head and it fits my head wonderfully. So that is what we're wearing today, and I might even wear it again on Sunday for Yarndale. We'll find out, who knows. For those that don't know, I am the business owner behind the Corner of Craft. I make hand beaded stitch markers and I also dye yarn in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Please let me know a little bit about you. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you've been working on and all of that fun stuff, because I love the conversation that doing YouTube brings. So it gets lonely being self-employed sometimes. Anyway, enough chatter. My carpet burn on my hand is slowly healing. It's now over 2 weeks since it's been done. I kept catching it yesterday on yarn, so it's a little sore today. Very annoying, but that's fine. It's not as bad as it was, and it's almost healed. I am currently drinking Bird and Blend Spiced Pumpkin Pie. Is that what it's called? I think so. I found a sachet of it in the cupboard. It's still in date. But it's back in the shop, so I might have to buy some more. But I've been stashing it away there for when I've been feeling autumnal. And as you can see from the makeup, the earrings by Under the Willow Pottery, and then the jumper, I'm feeling very autumnal. Oh, and the mug by Silver Spot Ceramics. Very autumnal. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I'm not sponsored by any of these people. Anyway, shall we get into finished objects? Shall we do it in order of longest to shortest? Yes. So the first finished object that I have, yeah, this has been on the needles way longer. This is living in the Fiber Fox bag. It's technically a Christmas bag, but it's very autumnal. So I've been using it for autumn things, and I think that's fine. I think it's covered in mohair mainly, because mohair gets everywhere. I am currently covered in mohair, which tells you that I've been knitting with mohair. But this is Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. I need to grab my sock blockers, they're over there. Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. It's very old, this yarn. October 2020, it's a mystery sock club, and it's fantastic. Mr. Fox, not socks. And it's on 100% Polworth wool. And yeah, let me grab my sock blockers. I'm very disorganised. I'm in a rush. So these socks are the Wildflower and Honeycomb socks, and that is by This Handmade Life, I believe. That's what... I'm pretty sure it's This Handmade Life. The designer hasn't put their name on the pattern at all. So if you are a pattern designer, you may know who you are, but please put your name on the pattern for those of us who... do podcasts. Thank you. But I'm 99% sure it's This Handmade Life, and it's really pretty pattern. Now these sock blockers are great because I like them, but I've never ever blocked socks before, so I might actually have to block these because they're lace work. They are currently unblocked, obviously. But yes, it's Wildflowers and Honeycomb, and so these bits, look here please. These bits are the Wildflower, and this bit's meant to be the Honeycomb, but I did a different heel because I didn't get on with that one, so I just did an Ive Partridge heel. And the sock set came with the brown mini skein. And we've got 2 socks. I cast these on for my birthday last year. My birthday 2021, and I knit the first sock so quickly. And then the other day for a Patreon video, if you'd like to follow me, if you'd like to subscribe on Patreon, that would be really lovely, link in the description box. For a Patreon video, I went through my stash and my whips and planned projects and whatnot, and I found these, and I thought, you know what, I just need to finish them. So I did, and I knit them very, very quickly. So that's the joy of a sock with a pattern, is that you can just knit the repeats so quickly. And yeah, I use 2.5mm higher sharps, I'm pretty sure. Oh, 2.25, I lied to you. I lied to you all. And I knit the 64 stitch count, and I have this much left, which is very cute. So I could have done a contrast heel as well, but I wasn't sure, so didn't pop one in. And yeah, I hate heel flap and gussets, I really do. They fit really well though, but I do hate knitting them because they're such a faff. But I think I need to block these just because of the fact it's kind of lacy and therefore doesn't look the best, but it's really pretty autumnal wool. So I thought I'd better knit these and finish them. And then that pattern was perfect because honeycomb, and they're kind of honey coloured. And then I went on this, and it was like, oh, my friends are united. Yes. Sock blockers. They're very nice. I, once again, haven't blocked socks on them, but they're very useful for showing off socks on podcasts. And you know what I do? Knit a lot of socks. I'm currently wearing some hand knit socks right now. This is Green Lambkin yarn socks, but is it Hermione Everyday, the pattern? Or I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, next longest languishing whip. That is now a finished object. Living in my Busy Bees Bag GB D&D bag, which can only mean one thing. I finished my D&D socks. Did I finish them during D&D? No, I didn't. I knit them outside of D&D. I rebelled. I took them down to my parents when I went a couple of weeks ago, and I knit and finished them. I took these and I took a new cast on and then forgot my needles, so I couldn't cast it on, and finished these very quickly, so then I didn't know what to do with my time. And then just continued to twist Advent minis, because that is what my life is going to be after Yarndale. It's going to be twisting Advent minis, packaging Advent calendars, and then it's going to be making berries, or I'll make berries in the evenings. We'll see. Anyway, I finished my D&D socks, I kind of was getting fed up with working on them. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to finish them. I cast these on in, what, February? I don't know if it was February, actually. It might have been. I cast these on a really long time ago. They've been on the needles a long, long time. And these are knit on 2.5, because I've only got one short set of 2.5, one short set of 2.25, and then I've got one long set of each as well. For if I want to knit 2 pairs at the same time, which I've done, I think, maybe once. So that was totally worth me buying them, wasn't it? So it's quite a long leg on these, isn't there? Yeah. So these are 60 stitches. I probably did about 18 rounds of 2x2, maybe 15 rounds of 2x2 rib at the top, and then I knit the leg. The yarn is Hey J Yarns in Unicorn Bath, something like that. And I always forget, and then I check my podcast notes. I'm like, oh, that's what it's called, and then I forget it again. And then the contrast is a mini skein from Georgie, or the Fibre Fox, which is just a mini that she sent me when I bought my bag. So I've still got enough for my granny square blanket, which I need to get back on to working on, because I'm at an awkward point in the row. I just kind of want to keep going with it, but I've abandoned it for all sorts of other things. But I did a New Depths heel. I'll stop waving them around. New Depths heel, which is a pattern by Becky Sorensen, and I love it. I did 3 increases on the leg, because I find that fits me best. But she talks about how to work out what will fit you best in her pattern, and the new stitch counts and all of that fun stuff. And then I just did a standard square toe, and yeah, I love this heel. It's very easy to learn, and I have a very high arch in my foot, and this fits me perfectly, so it's a good time. Ta-da! I'm glad to have finally finished those, and now I can start a new pair of D&D socks, because we're almost at the end of the campaign. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe I should wait until the start of the next phase of the campaign, because we're almost at the end of working through the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book, which is why I chose this yarn, because it was appropriate, because it starts out at a carnival. So I thought it was appropriate, and then I've finished them. So now I can start a new one in my D&D bag. D&D. Because I need something easy to knit. Although sometimes I just like working on whatever I'm working on. It's just a nice time. So then, my next longest languishing whip. We're basically starting out with, hey, socks. Which is a fun segment that I have just invented. Because I've finished a lot of socks lately. Now, I kind of almost finished these for the last podcast, and then I just kind of abandoned them, and I didn't put the heel on them, and then I forgot to put the heel on them. So the first thing that I did after I'd spoken to all of you in the Biscuit Brew Crew about what I was going to do, if you haven't watched that video and you're in the Biscuit Brew Crew, please watch it, because it's kind of a style of video that I want to start doing more of on my main channel. I'd like to know if you like it. Because yeah, I might have a video going through my stash and destashing some stuff, and working out putting projects together and sorting out my stash a bit more, because I did this side, but I kind of want to do this side a bit more, and I don't know. Anyway, this yarn is by Helen of Giddy Yarns. It is in the Cherry Blossom colourway, and then the contrast is Claire Nettleship Yarns in the colour called Charcoal, but it just kind of went, so we're going with it. It is the Cold Brew Socks, which is a pattern by Alison of Lofty Loop Yarns, and it's just a really fun pattern for if you have self-striping yarn, because it just breaks it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more interesting. So I knit the whole thing all in one, and then I went back and did a Kirby Werby afterthought heel. I knit 4 or 5 rounds before actually starting the decreases. I'm pretty sure it's 5 rounds. Yeah, I knit 5 rounds before I started the decreases, because once again I have a high arch. I can't start the decreases immediately, otherwise it pulls over my foot here, so I need a bit more fabric here. But they're just really cute. I can't believe I almost frogged these. I I can't believe that these almost weren't in existence because I wasn't enjoying knitting them, and then all of a sudden they're finished. Not all of a sudden, there was quite a long time between. But yeah, for those of you who are new, I don't usually have this many finished objects. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I didn't podcast this month. Usually I podcast on the first Friday of the month, but I wasn't going to podcast next week because next week's going to be the Yarndale vlog. And so I thought I'll podcast this week because I actually have quite a lot of finished objects. And yeah, but 3 weeks ago, I had barely any finished objects. I don't know what's happened, but I'm not complaining. I've just kind of pulled my finger out and got a lot of stuff finished, which is great. One of the annoyances that I have just realised is that I haven't blocked this for Yarndale, but I might just cut all the ends off and wear it anyway, and just take it anyway as a sample, and it's just going to be unblocked because I completely forgot that it needed to be blocked. I had so much other stuff going on that I forgot that that was a thing that I needed to do. My flat iron shawl. And there's no point me having worked on it to take it as a sample and then not take it for my last wool show of the year. So I'm just going to take it unblocked and whatever. Not everyone blocks everything anyway. How embarrassing. But the next whip that I have, project I have finished, which is in the Little Grey Girl donut project bag, I finished this in time for Yarndale and I'm so excited. It's officially finished. I've sewn my little tag on and everything. See? Lovely. So this is the Adelaster shawl. Yes. I won't lie, it's mahoosive. It is mahoosive. So this is the Adelaster shawl. This is a pattern by Emma Potter of Potter and Bloom. It's mahoosive. And I went with her suggestion of a bright pink frilly border. I wasn't going to do the border, and then she said, I think a bright pink border would be nice. And I was like, well, you designed it. I can't say no. And you know what? She's not wrong. It is nice. So yes, this is the Adelaster shawl. I crocheted this on a 4mm prim crochet hook. Did I gauge swatch? No, I didn't. So could that be why it's massive? Maybe. But it could also be just because it's a massive shawl, potentially. I didn't use 2 full skeins. I used 1 and I think, what, 2/3? A half? I don't know. My scales aren't up here. Mario took them to work because his scales were playing up. So I need to now buy myself a new set of scales because he's been weighing sourdough on them because he was starting to mix sourdough starter. He's a baker. He was starting to mix the sourdough starter in the evening, and our kitchen scales don't go up to a high enough weight, but my weighing scales hit up here too. So I need to buy myself some new scales because he stole mine. But yeah, there's a substantial amount left. Enough to make a colourful tiny frog. Tiny frog. I've still only made one of these. More will be happening, 100%. I made it in an afternoon, but I just kind of haven't had time to breathe since I made him. So, yeah, he's just chilling there. I did find him on the floor the other day after the cat's been up here, so I think the cat's may have found him. But they're usually up here supervised, but I completely forgot to shut the door the other day, so they were up here unsupervised, which was an error on my part. Anyway, long story short, I finished my Adelaster shawl. The fun thing about this shawl is that you block the bulk of the shawl and then you do the frill. You don't block the frill. So this as soon as I finished the frill, it was all done, and that was wonderful. And plus forced me to block it so I could finish it. It didn't actually take me that long to make. I cast it on the plane on the way to my honeymoon, so that was mid-July. And if I'd pulled my finger out, my knitting mojo hadn't absconded, then I would have finished it much sooner. And plus it was sat in the project bag for a long time because I was trying to decide if I wanted to make it bigger or not. I did not want to make it bigger. It's plenty big enough. But it's a mahoosive shawl if you do use the full 200 grams. But you can also make it with just 100 grams and a contrast mini. And then that's how much of the 20 gram mini I have left. So I'm glad I didn't make it a bit bigger because I think I'd be playing a bit more yarn chicken. But I do like the pink with it. I think it's really nice because there's pops of pink in the Merfolk Lagoon colourway. This is my own hand-dyed yarn, Chromatic Yarns, which is why it's going to be a show sample. And this colourway is called Merfolk Lagoon. It is on my Sturdy Sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and then there's just a contrast bright pink mini. If you think that you would like to have kits for this shawl, please let me know. I can 100% dye up 200 grams of yarn with a contrast mini. And if you think that's something that you would like, tell me and I can make it happen. But if you don't tell me, I won't make it happen, because I don't want to have a load of yarn in stock, which is what I'm going to have after Yarndale. We've still got one more finished object, folks, so I know, it's mad. It's mad. Ooh, excuse me, that's my printer. So the final finished object that I have is unblocked. Is this tiny jumper? This is tiny jumper, which is going to be gifted to my friend who had a baby in the summer, and it is the teddy bear jumper by Petite Knit, which is also the Bamsa jumper or something. It's not a jumper because that's not Danish, she says with no confidence. I'm pretty sure Petite Knit is Danish. Could be Norwegian. I don't know. She's somewhere up there. But yeah, this is the teddy bear jumper. I knit the 6 to 9 month size, so I'm hoping it will fit over the head. And I knit this out of Chromatic Yarn's Fluffy Lace in Zone of Truth, which I thought I'd renamed to Unarmoured Defence, but apparently I haven't, so who knows what I've done. And then Babbles Yarns on her Bamboozle base, which is 60% merino, 25% nylon. No, 15% nylon, 25% bamboo in the Orchid colourway. And, oh, it's so pretty. And it's not super fluffy, it's just a bit of a gentle fluff. Then I did somebody's surprisingly stretchy bind off, where you knit one, purl one, then you purl 2 together, then you knit one, then you knit those 2 together, that one. So it's nice and stretchy on the cuffs. And I really enjoyed knitting this. It knit very, very quickly. I cast it on the 16th and I finished it yesterday, and I wasn't knitting it continuously because I was also making stitch markers and things, but I knit a lot of the body of it on a phone call on my birthday to a lot of indie dyer friends. And I just have a lot of yarn that I think I'm going to make more of these for other various babies in my life. But I think I'm going to make them out of double knit just to make it a bit more cost effective. But this friend is extremely knit worthy, so they're getting the full works. Not saying my other friends aren't extremely knit worthy, obviously, but I have a lot of double knit that would be perfect for tiny jumpers. Because I was chatting to Selena through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. Now she's currently cooking her 3rd child, so she has experience of baby knits. And she said that this pattern fits, she finds that this pattern fits better than the flax patterns, because I do think sometimes the flax patterns are like weirdly long, but I know you could just knit them short. I don't know. I'm not very confident at adapting patterns. I feel like I'm not a hugely advanced knitter in that respect. But yeah, this is super cute and I love it. The yarn is adorable. Grace did an amazing job dyeing it up. And I still have some left. So I've cast on a tiny hat to match out of matching. So now we're into whips, in case you couldn't tell. This was my most recent finished object. I'm so covered in mohair right now. The thing is, a lot of the time I don't even know if it's mohair or cat hair, because I'm often covered in both. Right, let's get this pattern up. Where is it? I was trying to, so I have a perfume that I really like, and I was trying to buy some more of it, and you know what? It's discontinued. I can't buy it anywhere, so I need to try and find some more perfume that I like. And it's the hardest thing. Well, it's not the hardest thing. There are much more difficult things in the world, but it is very difficult to pick your smell, if that makes sense. So I have cast on the classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. It's intended for double knit yarn, but I am knitting it 4-ply and mohair held together on 3.25mm needles. And I cast this on last night after I finished the jumper because I had nothing on the needles. I was like, I need to podcast and I can't show one whip that I haven't touched in ages. I've got a little blackberry stitch marker on there. perks of making your own stitch markers is that you get to keep them. And yeah, that's how far I've got. I think I've got 6 inches. It's a free pattern. It's on their website, so you can check that on there. And I've just got to knit. What have I got to do? 6¼ inches. What's that in centimetres? I don't know. I'm pretty sure my tape measure also does inches. Yes, it does. 6¼ is about 6 centimetres. 16 centimetres. Oh, that was a stupid sentence. I knew what I meant. So I'm currently I'm going back to centimetres. I'm currently almost at 7 centimetres. I'm 6½, which is wonderful. And then you start the decreases. So it's just a nice knit one, purl one all the way around for a while. And it folds up. You get a little foldy up brim. And yeah, I just think it will look really cute on a baby. But, you know, I just thought I would make a little matching hat to finish off the set. So yeah, that's also using higher sharps. And like I say, I just started this yesterday evening. So that is how far through we are. Because Mario and I had a marathon catch-up of Celebrity MasterChef. This is the exciting part of our relationship that I'm telling you about now. Obviously Her Majesty sadly passed away, RIP. And the MasterChef wasn't on, so then we didn't know when it was going to be on because we don't have regular TV and we don't have TV guides and we don't pay attention to things. Then all of a sudden it was up on iPlayer and we had like 4 to watch. I was like, oh god, maybe 3 to watch. But yes, very exciting. It's a non-story for you. And then the final whip that I currently have, I'm sorry that I'm speeding through this, but I also need to edit it and pack up a car. The final whip that I have is still these socks that I started the heel on. My plan for this evening, whilst watching Strictly Come Dancing after we've set up, is to pop my needles back in here and rip it back. So I keep knitting the leg a little bit longer and knit the heel. So then tomorrow, hopefully, during Yarndale, I can knit a foot. That's the plan. So this is my show knitting. This is in my little grey girl project bag, my wizard bag. I like it for show knitting because of the handle. I like the handle because I wear it on my wrist as I knit. It's lovely times. This is in the True Sight colourway on my merino sock base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. I think I did 18 rounds of 2x2 rib. Because I got carried away. I cast this on at the Wool Monty and it's just kind of become my show whip, but I started the increases for my heel way too high up. This sock was going to be way too short, so I need to go backwards a little bit. And also I'm pretty sure these are 2.5mm, 2.25, wonderful. So now my short 2.25mm needles are free, so I can use my shorter ones instead of these massive needles. So that is what I'm going to be working on at Yarndale. If you see me, come say hi. Ask me how my sock's going. You don't have to, obviously. So now I'm going to briefly chat acquisitions. We don't have a whole host. I will say that I have been given money for my birthday, so I can treat myself to some yarn at Yarndale. Very exciting. I never get given money for my birthday. So I am very excited about that. My mum also gave me a jumper that she's knit. I've worn it so much. And if I wasn't rocking my own merch, I would 100% be wearing this today. But I wanted to rock my own merch because why wouldn't I? So this is the Stylecraft pattern it's number 6820 and 0. And it's made from the Special Aran with wool. And I'm pretty sure this is in the steel blue. Oh goodness. I'm just going to say it's in the steel blue colour. It's the colour that is used, Steely Blue Nep, that's what it's called. It's the colour that's used in the pattern. But it does look like a different colour to how it's photographed. But it's a really nice pattern. So we've got this big old cable going up the front. And then we've got this, whatever, I think it's moss stitch. It's plain moss stitch on the back which is a ball ache to knit, and I admire my mother for doing so. She was worried because it's a bit cropped, but honestly, it's the perfect length, so I like it. It's got a nice wide neck, which is lovely, and it's got fun cables on the sleeves. You know what? This would have been a right ball ache to knit, so I'm very glad it wasn't me that knit it, but I have worn it quite a lot already, and it is a nice warm temperature, and it's going to be very well loved and very well worn, and I love it. So, oh, I love having a mum that knits. She gifts me jumpers because she knows I wear them. Oh, thanks, Mum. And then the final stash enhancement that I have that has been living in this bag. I feel like this is mildly sponsored by Selena of Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co, but she's not paying me to talk about her. I'm paying her for the privilege of owning her yarn. So this is her magical mohair base, and I bought 3 skeins of Dreamy of Candy Unicorns, and this colour is impossible to show on my camera because it blows it out in all proportions, so I'm going to try my best with editing to fix it if I can. Oh no, that's pretty good! That's pretty good. It's like a very soft pastel prettiness, and I love it. Because I bought 3 skeins... I bought 3 skeins on her superwash merino base, which isn't called that anymore because I bought that long ago. Thank you. I bought it that long ago that it's now got a new name. But that's fine. And so I was going to use this with just some undyed mohair and just hold that together, and then she had a pre-order and I thought, you know what, it would be nice. So this is going to be a jumper or a cardigan, and it's going to be pastel and glorious. So that's going to go on there. Because if I've been given money to buy myself yarn at Yarndale, you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to buy myself yarn at Yarndale. But then the issue is then I've got a lot of yarn. I like to try and keep my stash to these 2 cubes. Plus a massive box down here of leftovers. But I'd like to keep it to these 2 cubes if possible. So I need to cast some stuff on that isn't my own yarn and knit with it. But I think... Whoop, these 2 will definitely be teddy bear sweaters. This is Beehive Yarns on her dolly base. Both of them are. This is Treacle Tart and this is Sandpiper, and I bought these at the first Nottingham Yarn Expo in 2017 because it was just after we moved back from Germany. That's how long I've had this, and I've been meaning to knit a hat out of it and I haven't done, so I think it would be a really cute baby jumper with this as the contrast cuffs. Hopefully there's enough there. How many is this? 20 grams. Hopefully there's enough there to do cuffs. And then this will also be one which is Craftfulness, and I got this when I was living in Germany, so I think this was 2016. In Wadensee is the colourway. So yeah, they're old stash, deep lurkers, but they're going to be baby jumpers now. That is what's happening. And then, yeah, just need to cast some stuff on and get some stuff on the needles. I'll make a whole separate video going through my stash because it's fun to do. And then I might have a bit of a de-stash at the end of it. So that is where I'm going to love you and leave you because I feel like I'm running out of time and I need to pack my stuff up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Sorry that I haven't been as chatty in this podcast as I usually am. Usually I go on a whole rampage for, what, 20 minutes after I've talked about knitting. But I don't have the time today to edit my ramblings down because it's already 10 o'clock. So luckily, once this is saving, I can go and pack stuff. Once it's uploading, I can go and pack stuff. But whilst it's editing, I can't really do an awful lot. And I've already made a dirty mark on this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on. Are you coming to Yarndale? What projects are you working on? What do you want to knit? Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, let me know. I would love to hear about it. Would you have any whips planned? I plan on casting on a sorrel jumper out of this blue right here. The blue. That's going to be a sorrel jumper. I just need brain space. So I'm doing very easy knits, easy quick knits to keep the knitting mojo going at the moment. And for the brain space, I may also cast on the mystery knit along. I've never done one before, so I might cast on the mystery knit along this year. I might go yarn shopping when it's on my own stand, when it's all laid out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely spending this time with you. I would love it if you were to follow me on social media. Links can all be found in the description box below. You can also turn on notifications on YouTube if you subscribe. Please do, it would be lovely. I post a video here every week. And then if you also follow me on Patreon, subscribe on Patreon, you get an extra video a week. Friendly reminder for those of you in the BBC, Biscuit Brew crew, that the next week's is going to be later because Yarndale. But thank you so much for watching. What was I saying? Notifications, you can turn them on for Instagram and stuff if you find that you're not seeing my posts. That's an option because Instagram can be a pain in the ass sometimes. And yes, I think that's everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out, helps to get this video out to the YouTube algorithm a bit more, which is always nice, because I'm always fighting against the algorithm. I want to grow the Corner of Craft to 100,000 subscribers. It was my goal for 2020 and we're still not there. I mean, it's fine. It's fair. It's one of those things. Was it my goal for 2021? I can't remember. Regardless of what the goal was for, I'm still not there. But that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely spending this time with you. And I will see you very soon in my Yarndale vlog. Bye!